Hello YouTube, and a message to Andrew Johnson, who seems like he needs a little bit of help kickstarting his, becoming an investigator / researcher. I'm more than happy to help Andrew, seeing as you don't seem to be able to type into Google and search through my videos for videos on Mr. Levengood. I shall make it easy for you now. I shall put it into a very small compact version so you can go and check whether or not I'm talking out of my arse. Because he was on the Richard D. Hall. I always fucking hate people who put their middle initials in because it makes them sound like a dick. Richard D. Hall. I wonder what the D stands for. Wouldn't be for dick, would it? Anyway, Andrew Johnson, right? You should listen to yourself on that programme because, you say some bloke who I think is Welsh. Why didn't you just say Matt Williams? For fuck's sake, right? Okay. I'm a big enough boy. I can take it. Yeah, I can fucking take it. Yeah, you need some help with your research? Okay, you're calling me out. I'm going to help you. Levengood frequently referred to himself as Doctor. Okay, he did used to do this. Levengood used to do it, and also BLT used to also promote that he was Dr. Levengood. Okay, his name has been put forward on multiple television documentaries as Dr. Levengood, and after it was pointed out that we knew that this was fake, which I'll come to in a second, after we pointed out the fact that we knew this was wrong, then and only then, Andrew, right, then and only then did the BLT website remove all references to the doctor, because we were kicking up such a fuss that a man who was not a doctor was claiming to be a doctor, and they were promoting research which was supposedly on the back of his good credentials as being a doctor, right? That was why they removed it. So if you can't find it on the BLT website, it doesn't mean it wasn't there. It just means it isn't there now. Okay? Now, if you drill back through historical documents on the internet, I'm sure you'll find many references to him calling himself Doctor, and he was never quick to pull back anyone who published a document which referred to him as Doctor. Now, you'd think that anybody who wasn't a doctor would have contacted all these people and said, excuse me, I have to correct you, I'm not a doctor. But no, he was quite happy for that to carry on. Now, why did he call himself a doctor? Okay, now this is not me making this up, okay, because the way you're putting it across, Andrew, right, saying that I'm casting aspersions on the guy makes it sound like as if I'm making this shit up, like this is originating from me, like I am the fucking source. Now, Andrew, that is fucking outrageous, dude, because not only did this not come from me, right, this came from Levengood. Okay, this started with Levengood and finished with Levengood, because Levengood was claiming he was a doctor. Kevin Randall, and I think he's called Kevin D. Randall actually, so he's got a middle letter in his name. So okay, maybe okay, we'll allow Kevin D. Randall to have his middle initial. But anyway, Kevin Randall actually was looking into Levengood and some of his claims. So Kevin Randall put it to Levengood, where did you get your doctorate? And instead of saying, I don't have a doctorate, which is what you'd expect him to say, he said, I was given an honorary doctorate from the National Academy of Sciences. So in that, he basically confirmed that he was making the statement that he was a doctor, plus also he was backing it up with the information of where he got it from. So Kevin Randall, being a good investigator, as all good investigators should, he didn't take it on face value. He contacted the National Academy of Sciences and asked them if they could verify that Dr. Levengood was in fact a doctor and was given his honorary doctorate from the National Academy of Sciences. To which Kevin Randall was contacted quite quickly by the National Academy of Sciences, who told him that the National Academy of Sciences does not give out honorary doctorates, which meant that Dr. Levengood was in fact Mr. Levengood and had no title at all and was using the title falsely. Now, where exactly, Andrew, does this mean that I am casting aspersions, right? Which, a false aspersion, yeah? I'm casting doubt. Hang on a minute, Kevin Randall published this. I'm merely repeating it for your benefit and for other people's benefit, so that they don't forget. Now, hang on. Andrew, you have to ask yourself a question. Very serious question. If you consider yourself to be a ufologist and a researcher, what place is there in ufology for people who lie about their credentials and lie about stuff? What place is there? Yeah. What possible credibility can you then place upon their research if they're lying about their credentials? What does that say about a person? Okay? So, if I'm casting aspersions, it's for a fucking good reason. Yes? Because, I'm sorry, people who go claiming they are doctors when they are not, it is a major, major fraud. Okay? You cannot do it. It is against the law. It is immoral to try and gain confidence from people by using a title that you do not have the necessary standing to represent yourself as. Okay, I mean, we hear about it in the media, we hear about it in the press, people claiming to be medical doctors, GPs, and they have no training at all, prescribing drugs to people that they don't know what they're prescribing and actually causing deaths by this type of bullshit. Now, Andrew, ask yourself the question, is that okay? Because, unfortunately, there seems to be kind of like a knee-jerk reaction which goes on in the UFO community and conspiracy communities, which is that anyone that talks about wonderful, amazing, weird stuff is a good guy. And anyone that points out that that person is a fucking liar, they're the bad guy. Right? Hang on a minute. Reality check here. Reality fucking check. Yeah? So if Corey Goode, yeah, says that he worked on the fucking moon, right, and there's a secret space program, that's okay, because that's an amazing story. If somebody comes along and proves that the guy was a liar, well, it's the guy who proves he's a liar was the bastard, not Corey Goode. How does that work, Andrew? How does that work? So, I put it to you one more time, right? Levengood lied about his credentials, which is very, very wrong. It is not allowed in our society to do that. Okay? It is totally unacceptable, and you need to check your facts, because you should not in any way, shape or form be backing up or standing behind in support of Levengood and his research when he was lying about his credentials. Okay? I'm sorry, there's no excuse for it. I mean, if you were a medical doctor, you would be struck off for doing that. Yes? Anywhere that you do this, you get struck off, you get, reported to the authorities. You can even be prosecuted for it in many cases. Okay, so there's no excuse for it. There's absolutely no excuse for it. And, clearly, what you do have with these subjects of the paranormal is you have a lot of hangers-on, a lot of idiots, a lot of wannabes, a lot of mental patients, and that's, unfortunately, it goes with the territory. Now, you should know this. You really should know this. If you don't know it, I would be questioning, are you one of them? That would be my next question. If you don't know that, if you don't understand that, if that concept doesn't make any sense to you, Andrew, I would be questioning where you're coming from. So just bear that in mind when you're actually looking at Mr. Levengood. Just bear in mind that if you can't get this through your skull, right, that what Levengood did was wrong, right, if you can't get that through your skull and start reporting it correctly, yeah, then I think you need to actually look at yourself, yeah, because we certainly will be. We'll be looking at you. So I think you need to actually think about that. Now, second thing, right, Levengood is the only person to ever have one of his published papers, because, of course, they say he's a published researcher. Now, being a published researcher, yeah, he's the only person to ever have one of his papers removed from Psychological Planetarium, which is a journal on biology. Okay? And they've never done it to anyone else. He's the only person in their history of their publication to have that done. And why was that? Why did that happen, Andrew? Because he lied about his credentials. They don't like that in academia, you see, Andrew. It is frowned upon. You're not supposed to do it. Yes? So when you turn around on a television programme, right, on air, on TV, when you turn around and you say that some Welsh bloke, I mean, I wouldn't have minded if you'd named me, but, you know, you're trying to give the impression that I'm full of shit, yeah? And I'm not full of shit. When I say something, there's a fucking good reason for it. Now, off your trot and do some real fucking research, yeah, before you go mouthing off, yeah? And I hope you find what I've said is correct. I'm pretty sure you will, because it's not hard to find out. But obviously you're not looking very hard, are you? So thank you very much, Andrew. We shall no doubt be speaking to you sometime in the future, correcting some of your other research problems when it comes to crop circles. By the way, those iron particles, which Levengood said were from meteoric dust, which was not from this part of the solar system, that's a pretty fucking wild claim for a guy with a microscope in a fucking local lab, you know, in the back of his house. That's a pretty fucking wide claim to be able to do that, isn't it? You know, to come up with that. But then there we are. I guess that's how he makes his money, eh? The more wild the claims, the more the money'll come flowing. God, I didn't say that, did I? Wow. Anyway, so he said that this iron stuff, yeah, these iron particles, came from somewhere else. They clearly didn't. One of the Circlemakers actually admitted to doing this very soon after doing it, and he said that he'd sprinkled iron filings into the formation, and that these had basically stuck onto the plants and were sort of present in the soil and the plants. So much so that you could pick them up with a magnet, which is what iron does, isn't it? So, you know, mystery solved. It wasn't anything unusual, anything weird. It was just a Circlemaker trying to increase the interest and excitement around a crop circle that he'd made by sprinkling iron filings around. Now, you can go and check that if you want. Robert Irving, who is actually, believe it or not, is a doctor. So there we are. A Circlemaker, right, has got his doctorate. Since being a Circlemaker, he's now got a doctorate. So you can go and speak to Dr. Rob Irving, a real doctor. Well, I assume he is. I haven't checked. I hope you're not lying to us, Rob, about being a doctor. But we should check that, actually, shouldn't we? If I do it for Levengood, we should maybe do it for Rob too. But, yes, for the moment, we think Dr. Rob Irving is possibly the person you need to speak to about those iron filings. So thanks very much for watching.